All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Thank you for coming here this evening for our regular meeting on September 8th, 2025. If you'd all stand, Councilmember Leslie Bezel will be doing the prayer and pledge.
Thank you. Heavenly Father, with 9/11 just a couple of days away, we ask that you guide us towards making decisions to work for a world where peace and understanding overcome violence and ignorance. Give us the wisdom to build up what was torn down and the compassion to mend what has been broken. As we conduct the business of our city, remind us to act with love and to work for the common good of all our people. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Councilmember Bezel. All right. Madam Clerk, we have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Bessel?
Here.
Councilmember Paulus?
Here.
Councilmember Pennington?
Here.
Councilmember Kraft?
Here.
Councilmember Myers?
Here.
Councilmember Davidson? Councilmember Brill?
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilman Davidson. Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Are there any agenda modifications? Hearing none, we'll let it stand. For those of you who don't know, their agendas, I usually mention this earlier, agenda's back there on the podiums on both of those. If you want to follow along with us, you're welcome to grab any of them out of there. All right. Is there an executive session request for this evening?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, to consider confidential information related to the marketing plans, specific business strategy, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance, negotiations with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance, pending or imminent litigation with attorney, and to consider the purchase of property for public purposes. Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion for executive session for the reasons stated by the city manager.
Second.
Motion second, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Bessel?
Yes.
Councilmember Paulus?
Yes.
Councilmember Pennington? Yes. Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Brill?
Thank you. All right, we have some special presentations this evening. There she is. Where did she go?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Can you hear me? Okay, wonderful. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Eva Joseph, and I'm the Development Specialist for the Development Services Department. I'm here tonight to share a recap of the Flavors of Fairfield promotion. As you may recall, this was a partnership with Travel Butler County to highlight the many unique and authentic international restaurants Fairfield has to offer. During the 3-month promotion, the program generated 1,045 business visits. Anecdotally, we know that these numbers resulted in more sales, of course. We had 27 restaurants and bakeries participating, which shakes out to an average of 38.7 average visits per business. People came from all over. 68% of visitors were from outside of Fairfield. 130 people won our tote bag. That was the prize for the program. Jungle Gyms and the Fairfield Lane Library were great partners as they were a pickup location for the prize. There were at least 61 people entered to win the grand prize, meaning they visited at least 8 eateries. We have 3 special guests tonight. Those are our 3 grand prize winners with an $1,000 gift card to Jungle Gyms. They could come at this time. I'd like to recognize Autumn Eddington, Ann Parcel, and Brian Strom. Mayor Rodas has a certificate for you, and I have your gift cards.
First of all, who couldn't use a $1,000 gift card to anywhere? But Jungles, I mean, this is cool. So we want to thank Jungle Jim for doing that. He's done this every year we've done this program, and it's exceptional. So I have something to read. We have little certificates for you guys. Here we have a nice little certificate I'm going to give to each one of them, but it's the Flavors of Fairfield Dining Adventure. The certificate is awarded to Mr. Brian Strom, the grand prize winner, Flavors of Fairfield, September 8th. $1,000 this and $1,000. There you go. And is it Parcell? Just like it. And Parcell, the same. What restaurants did you, what was your favorite?
Probably Omindia is a favorite. We go there a lot. But yeah,
How many
there's so
different
many
restaurants
good.
did you go to?
Over 8.
Over 8.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. This is to Autumn Edgington. I did it right, good. And how about you? What was your favorite of all of them?
Cincy District one.
Oh, okay, we've done that before, so that's cool. Well, good. Well, thank you very much again. Congratulations, you guys. Ryan, I didn't ask you your favorite restaurant. What was your
Where should I?
Oh, down, no. Oh, yeah. Did you? Well, good. Folks, we have all those restaurants, and what is it, like 68% of the people came from outside the city. There's 27 bakeries and restaurants. We do those videos, and they're a lot of fun, but it's always amazing. She's very good at knowing all the food we eat, and my palate has been extremely expanded. Also want to recognize a former council member in the audience, Mr. Jeff Holtagel, right there. Jeff, thank you for coming. He served the city for probably a dozen years, close to a dozen years for city council several times. So if some of you didn't recognize him out there, he's a lot older now, so we're good friends, so I had to do that. So, all right. Let's see, citizen comments. If you're here for, oh yeah, that's right. I was just going to mention, if you're here for the Gray Road thing, just sit tight. We're going to have a Fairfield Drug Prevention Coalition presentation next. So just wanted to tell you guys, sit tight. I had that in my notes here. All right, Mr. Joe, it's all yours.
Thank you. So I'm Joe Markowitz, the Executive Director of the Fairfield Prevention Coalition. I've been in the prevention business about 30 years, training youth all over the United States. It's my pleasure to come to you today to talk about the opioid epidemic, including in the Fairfield area, and what we're doing here locally to address it. So just so you know, we spend about $75 billion a year due to illnesses and deaths and other costs incurred as a part of the opioid overdose epidemic, otherwise known as heroin. Also, for every student that drops out of high school anywhere in the United States, the cost to the community is over $1 million over their lifetime. Loss of earnings, loss of tax-based payments, addiction treatment, other economic forms of support. So we're trying to keep students in school. There's a cost benefit to what we're doing. So if we can keep one student from dropping out of school due to substance use disorder, it's $1 million savings realized over their lifetime. So the number of deaths in the past 20 years from unintentional opioid overdose is well over 375,000 people. So that's a lot of folks. And a lot of this information comes when I was at the University of Kentucky working on the opioid epidemic in Appalachian counties down there and how we can get ahead of the curve on some of these things. So basically, I can use an example of Purdue Pharmaceuticals with OxyContin, which was supposed to be an end-of-life drug. It was never supposed to be used for broken bones and hip surgeries and shoulder surgeries and things like that. And when you go to your doctor and get a legal pain prescription, you can actually walk out the door with the same compounds in a legal prescription as there is in heroin. And once your brain gets connected to that heroin, there's all kinds of issues going on. A lot of this came from the New England Journal of Medicine. Purdue Pharmaceutical kind of used that as their basis for research, saying this is a non-addictive drug. And if all it was an article in the news, that's all it was. And they said they interviewed folks who went to the emergency room, mainly in the Massachusetts area, and they called them up on the phone and said, do you feel you're addicted to this drug? And they said no, and case closed. That was their research. So then Oxycontin, oxycodone, hydrocodone, all got released out into the pharmaceutical communities saying they were non-addictive. And it was a sneak from behind attack on America and our college youth, and everybody got these prescriptions for surgeries. 4 out of 5 new heroin users started by misusing prescription painkillers. So if we want to be ahead of the curve, we got to be educating folks about not using prescription pain medications that are not prescribed to you by a doctor. Okay, so 4 out of 5 heroin users. So your child can visit the doctor or the dentist or the chiropractor, walk out the door with a legal form of heroin, otherwise known as a prescription painkiller. And again, once you get on it, it's really hard to get off. So, that's concerning to us. Prevention scientists from all over the world all agree that the earlier we hit the opioid overdose epidemic, the earlier we hit it, the better success we'll have in it. It'll be cheaper to deal with, and we'll save more lives. 9 out of 10 people use a substance use disorder who do that have started by age 18. And as we're going to show you in just a moment, that the projects that we're doing in our schools around the Fairfield community are addressing that statistic right there. By the way, most community coalitions who are working on the opioid epidemic crisis are addressing the issue after it occurs, okay? Treatment, rehabilitation, reentry, and homelessness, the big 4, are what a lot of communities are taking millions and millions of dollars and trying to put a Band-Aid on the opioid crisis. Now, these things are necessary, and we agree with that, but there are very few dollars going into prevention. And I couldn't imagine going to see your doctor and not talking about preventing cancer. That's what you'd want to do, other than treat it. So the Fairfield Prevention Coalition, we address the risk factors that lead youth and adolescents and teens down that road to where they could be misusing opioid and painkillers. That's what we've been trying to do for a number of years. A little bit about the Fairfield Prevention Coalition. We have partners all over the county. We do a lot of work. Actually, we come here every year in April and May and get your support for Safe Prom Month, and you guys always give us a proclamation. The students back at Fairfield High School and a freshman school realize that City Council supports our drug-free life, and we appreciate that with you. But we have partners all over. We're a nonprofit coalition with open membership. Anyone from Fairfield can join our coalition. Fairfield City Schools is our fiscal agent. All our funds run through them. We're a good steward of our funds. We've been funded for close to 20 years from different sources. We always get audited. We always turn our reports in on time. We're a good steward of the money that comes our way. We focus on preventing substance use onset, which means we're not a treatment facility. We're not a rehabilitation facility. We're a prevention campaign all year long in the schools. We're focusing on students and families only in Fairfield. That's our target audience. We're currently funded by a federal CARA grant, which is in its final year of funding. And that's one of the reasons why we're here. Our coalition is represented by many sectors of the community. The schools, we have 5 to 8 administrators from the schools on our coalition, law enforcement, youth agencies, the United Way, businesses, faith organizations, government, parents, and young people are all represented on our coalition. And I'm not doing justice to the others that are on that coalition as well. Our youth coalition is not just an after-school club. It is actually a peer-led prevention framework. We have over 140 students in 4 schools doing prevention campaigns, and part of that is opioid onset prevention. We have we had our first high school coalition meeting today after school in the community room. We had between 50 and 70 students show up that said, I want to be a part of this movement. I want our school to be a drug-free place. I want to be a member of our community. So we had a nice turnout. We have a high school coalition. We have a freshman coalition. We have middle school coalitions. And most importantly is the youth who serve on our coalitions, on average, spend 4 or 5 years being part of our coalition. We don't get them in their senior year or their junior and senior year. We've had some coalition students on our membership rosters since sixth grade, and we have them through 12th grade in high school. So for many students, this coalition experience is a unique one. And I'm going to ask one of our senior student officers, Charlie, to just come up and spend maybe 30 seconds telling you about how it's impacted him as a youth. Charlie?
Good evening. My name is Charlie Toulouse, and I am one of the junior co-presidents of the Fairfield Youth Prevention Coalition. And this is my third year in it, and it's already affected my life greatly. Mr. Joe has taught me great things about the harmful effects of drugs, and something that I've learned that Mr. Joe was just hitting on is that we can cut off the addiction before it even enters the minds of the youth. So when we get them in high school and we tell them the harmful effects of it, when they think about it as they're adults, they won't even think about doing it because they know the harmful effects of it. I've learned great public speaking skills. I've learned how to educate my peers and also middle schoolers at Crossroads and Creekside on the harmful effects. I've also learned how to solve problems in my community and throughout my school. And there's countless other things that I've learned while being in the Prevention Coalition. That's all I have. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rohan Chuan, and I am also a junior at Fairfield High School. And my personal experience within the Fairfield Youth Coalition has been really good. I have spent almost 3 years on the Youth Coalition, and it's honestly changed my life a lot. I've learned so many things from Mr. Joe, and I always tell my parents and like everyone around me how drugs are very bad, and the view on drugs have always been bad, but through many experiences, I have learned that we can change that and we can prevent them before it gets too large and out of hand. Thank you.
My name is Sophia Gorchek, and I would just like to add, I truly believe that we have a great standpoint in Fairfield schools. We have many opportunities to come to the middle schools and just show all of our peers around the high school many of the effects that drugs have, and I truly believe we make a big difference in our school. Thank you.
All that without a script, right?
Yeah.
So let's come right down to it. We use an evidence-based approach when it comes to opioid prevention in middle schools, and we call it farming effects. That's PHAR. And what we do is we do skits in health grade classrooms every quarter, totaling about 500 middle school students every year. We are educating about the dangers of prescription pain medications and other illicit drugs as well.
Big pill, little pill, white pill.
No, this is crazy!
There's a drug for just about anything, but these middle schoolers are learning.
True or false, misusing prescription pain medications can lead to other forms of illegal drug use.
That small pills can have big consequences.
We want those kids to know that that is a thing that must be prescribed by a doctor and that they should be making those safe decisions.
Meet Julia, Karis, and Rojita, high school seniors and members of the Fairfield Prevention Coalition, who are running a summit for 100 middle schoolers.
It's the credibility that we have as high schoolers. We're actually being those positive influences for those kids.
This is unique.
Joe Markowitz is the coalition's executive director. He says on top of education, it's about recruiting Fairfield's next leaders.
When they become juniors and seniors, they can go back into the middle schools and do prevention in the school they grew up in.
Everything we do is evidence-based, and we show them the statistics.
Statistics about how risky decisions with substances are made.
We put an emphasis on the connectedness between getting involved in your community and having these outlets of things that make you both like happy and just occupy your time.
And how those positive lifestyle choices, like hitting the dance floor with friends, can be a step in the right direction.
They hear that same message in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and as they go up, they present that information. So it becomes more muscle memory in their conversation.
We are one of the only organizations that address the opioid crisis before people have actually taken opioids and it's affected their life negatively.
Solutions to an addiction problem plaguing the country, led locally by young leaders and younger leaders.
Kids just have to have a purpose, and I think this is a great purpose to have.
In Fairfield, Andrew Rowan, WCPO 9 News.
Thanks, Brad. So, implementing a program and showing a video is really cool, but we're actually going to talk about outcomes for 1 second. So we use the PRIDE surveys out of Prevention First, which is a regional, valid, and reliable survey. And if we look at data from 2017 to 2023, we are seeing wonderful outcomes under opioid onset. For example, 209 students admitted to using an opioid without a prescription in 2019. That was down to 16 students in 2023. That's a huge decrease. And we talk about the percent of high school seniors using a legal pain prescription without a doctor's permission in Fairfield schools decreased from 6.7% in 2019 to 1.4% in the latest survey. By the way, the next survey comes out this fall. Percent of high school seniors who use a prescription regularly without a doctor's permission dropped from 3.4 to 0.3%. And all you got to do is multiply that percentage by close to 1,000 students, and you can figure out what those numbers actually look like. So look at the juniors, the 11th graders, using a legal pain prescription without a doctor's permission decreased from 4.5 to 1.1%. That's a whole different class cohort, same kind of a trend. And those 11th graders who use them regularly also dropped from 3.4% down to 1.9%. So, you know, we got an evidence-based program, we got peer-led prevention, we got youth bought into a community that supports them to be drug-free and have hope for the future and not be dealing with addiction and all the damage that comes along with that. So why are we here? This is the last slide. We're here for opioid settlement dollars. I'll be very honest with you. We're doing opioid prevention, and we feel we deserve some opioid settlement dollars, and we're always going to knock at your door and keep asking for it. Because I was at a national conference in Atlanta, and I was doing a presentation, and there was 190 poster sessions at that national conference. Let me tell you how many were about prevention. One, it was ours, the Fairfield Prevention Coalition. The rest were treatment, rehabilitation, home shelters, lifelong living. There wasn't one prevention workshop at a national opioid conference except us. And I think we need to be supported by our local administration, and I think it's why we're here tonight, and we don't want to take up too much time on the agenda. We have some of our executive team here, we have some of our youth here, but they really are just a few people out of about 180 folks who stand behind this coalition. And with that, I will stop yakking at you and ask if there are any questions or comments, and that goes for you folks as well.
Anybody from up here? The city does have a fund that we did, that the drug companies all contributed to a statewide fund, and it was divvied up to the cities. So council at some point in time in the future will have to distribute that money or figure out what to do with it. You guys obviously are presenting and doing a great presentation preventing it, which is key. And so we appreciate you coming.
I have a question, Joe. Thank you. This was a great presentation. Can you share with us what has Fairfield Township contributed to this through their funds?
Yes, we actually went to them with the same kind of a presentation because we were looking strictly at opioid settlement dollars. And we told them what we were doing, and we showed them kind of the same statistics. And they absolutely got on board 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, we got $10,000 from them, and last year we got $10,000 from them. And we'll be knocking at the door again next year. But to be honest with you folks, there's 2 part-time staff here, and the rest are volunteers. Our operational budget has to be more than that, or we'll cease to exist, and that would be a shame. We also get some United Way money, but it's not a lot. It's about $5,000, and we have a Mullinex Foundation for $5,000. And we did get some other money from Butler County to augment that. So that's kind of our operational budget. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Joe, I was going to ask a question. Great presentation, and to your presenters, phenomenal job. Would you be willing to put together what your strategy is for the funding, what you do with it, and how you would roll it out in your operation?
Absolutely, and I'll work on that. And I would also tell you that we're a member of the Hamilton Community Foundation. We have an account with them. Our goal really is to create an endowment that'll be long-lasting and long-sustaining. That's really our goal. In order to do that, you have to have some capital to work with. So
Sure.
That's really why we're here.
You sold me, but I would love to see the details behind it. Thanks,
Sounds
Joe.
great. I will do that for you, sure.
Well, actually, Joe, you stole my thunder because I was going to close with, I would like for us to put our money into an endowment, whether it's our community foundation. And, you know, our county prosecutor was recently in the news about all the communities should put their money together, and we're gonna do what all those other 92 other organizations were doing. And what I like, in my personal opinion, to council is put that in an endowment. It was $300-some thousand, and if it draws 10% interest a year, that's $37,000 to prevent, and it's forever $37,000 a year, forever. Whatever it is, it would be 5 to 10% is what I think our community foundation, promises. So it's sustainable. It lasts forever. There's no run out of money in 2 years or 3 years. It's there forever. So I appreciate you coming, and I hope that as staff and council thinks about that expenditure or that disbursement of funds, they take that into consideration. So.
Sure, and we'll share our financial plan as well.
Yes, for sure. And students, thanks for coming. I'm going to comment, you guys, we had our first Mayor's Youth Commission meeting this afternoon, and Mr. Joe and I compete for the same great kids, and so they were coming into mine saying, we got another meeting to go to, and I said, mine's more important, so, and I knew they were going to yours, and so I moved our meeting nights just so we don't ever, or meeting days so we don't ever coincide. But it is great to see you guys here and the ones that are at the Mayor's Youth Commission talking about prevention. They were talking about it today. So appreciate what you do.
Thanks,
So,
Mr. Mayor, and thank you, council, very much.
Just one comment I'd like to make to the 3 young people. What you're doing is tremendous, and I just want to thank you for your courage, for your dedication, and for standing for something like this, because you are making a difference in other young people's lives. So keep it up. You're doing great things. Thank you.
Yep. Good job. All righty. If you're here for a citizen comment other than the Gray Road, Pleasant Avenue, you're welcome to come up to the mic, speak your piece. You have about 5 minutes. Everybody's here. It's something other than that? Okay. Say your name and address, because it is recorded.
Good evening. My name is Cindy Brenner. I live at 5281 Bame Drive. The amount of traffic that seems to be not only due to school, but for some reason this year, numerous vehicles of many makes and models have been called the so-called go faster mufflers. The drivers rev up their engines and race on Bame Drive and Parkland Hills, come off of Route 4, and not just to avoid the red light by Jungle Gyms or Gilmore off of Parkland Hills. Now, there is one motorcyclist that is revving his bike as he is on Route 4 getting ready to turn onto Bame Drive, and it's several times daily, 7:30 a.m., 2:30 p.m., 9:30 or 10:30 p.m., when everything is quiet. He lives on Heffern off of Parkland Hills. Now, as if the go faster mufflers aren't enough, Saturday night, August 30th, at 9 p.m., a dark SUV was driving on Bame, heading toward my house, 5281. And I could tell he was driving fast. And as that vehicle was driving past my house, I was in the front yard with my dog, and if he would have lost control of his SUV, we would both been killed. My husband had seen the same vehicle, and it sped all the way up the hill on Bame, and that's what it did the night I saw it, but I didn't get the license plate. But it seems like now Bame Drive has become a dangerous and loud, motivated area to show off your go faster mufflers and the speeding motorcyclists. It's like we're living on Route 4 and not a subdivision.
Well, we'll have the police chief over there do some extra patrol, probably park some cars out there, and maybe even do the little speed guys that blink, and that we're talking about Bame Drive and some additional patrol out there. So Mr. Maynard would probably note that down now, and I think you'll pretty soon here see some additional activity out there. How's that?
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Council reports. We'll start down here. Any council report?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple of announcements. The September-October edition of the Fairfield Flyer is out and has been posted online and delivered by the post office. If you did not receive your flyer, additional copies are located in the main lobby of this building, the municipal building. Second, there is a community blood drive on September 15th from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Fire Department headquarters on Nillis Road. Schedule a time to donate by using the QR code that's in the Fairfield Flyer, or you can call 937-461-3220. Third item is join the Fairfield Fire Department in Fire Prevention Week, October 5th through the 11th. You can scan that same QR code in the Fairfield Flyer for tips on lithium-ion battery disposal and other helpful fire safety information. The discard day is coming up Saturday, October 18th. It'll be from 9 a.m. to noon in the parking lot of the Fairfield Aquatic Center. The event is open to only to Fairfield residents this year, and your ID is required to prove that. Donations of clothing, paint, toys are not being accepted there. The focus of Discard Day this year is e-waste, appliances, prescription drugs, yard waste, scrap metal, paper to be shredded, and bulk trash. So take advantage of that. And last, I'd like to thank Jason Hunold, Diana Davenport, and Christina Roach for their presentation on the utility update that we had at 6 a.m. They did a fantastic job, a lot of information, a lot of things going on in that department, and I, for one, was very, very impressed with the work that they did. So thank you very much. And that's all I have.
Nothing from me, Mayor.
Nothing for me, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have two items that I wanted to update on Public Works. The overlay streets have all been resurfaced for 2025, and happy to report that my husband's in blacktopping for many, many years. He's an expert. He's very detailed, and he was impressed on just recently Hicks Boulevard. Very professional, great job. And he's one of those that goes in there and dissects it. So he says it's a great job, it's a great job. Because he likes to dissect.
He gets kicks to tire.
He does, but he said that was awesome, and I would agree. And then the last thing is work will continue on South Gilmore through this fall, but it is on schedule to be completed by winter. So that's talking about South Gilmore. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Just a couple of items regarding the parks. Playing court improvements are underway at many of our parks. Oakwood tennis and basketball have been improved. Good Neighbors tennis is being repaved, and Harbin basketball and tennis upgrades will start in the next week or two. The disc golf course is being improved with all new tee boxes installed already and new baskets and signage coming this fall. The course will remain open and playable during the construction. And I have one more. We wrapped up the summer on a high note with our final Groovin' on the Green. It was the Beatles tribute band. And this weekend, we're excited to bring you the Fairfield Auto Fest, kicking off on Saturday from 3:30 to 10 p.m. Live music begins at 4 with Evil Ways, followed by the Bel Airs at 7. On Sunday, we ask that you join us for the Aubrey Rose Foundation British Car Day, running from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. And the McCartney Project will take the stage at 1, and I can vouch for them if you haven't seen the McCartney Project. He's awesome. And we will have another great lineup of food trucks both days, along with our popular beer trailer. We hope we'll see you there. Thank you.
All righty. To staff, I just want to mention the Mayor's Youth Commission did kick off again today, so they will be contacting you department heads probably within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somewhere in there. For the audience, I formed a youth commission at the high school. It includes juniors and seniors, and they sign up. There was probably 28, I think, today there. And they will be interns in our various city departments. So it's interesting to add 11th or 12th grader to have interest in our public utilities and sustainability, or the police department, fire department, law. I mean, even the lawyer, that one of them wants to be in the law department. I couldn't believe that. And yeah. So it's really cool. It's a great youth commission, and they were back at it again today strong. Councilmember Brill mentioned the lithium battery and that drop off. That's very important. You need to mark that down. When we recently toured the Rumpke Recycle Center, it's a massive. It's not the one down on Coleraine. It's down in, what was that, St. Bernard, maybe? Yeah. Anyway, it's a massive facility, and they had just a major fire there recently, and you will not believe this, but it was caused by the little lithium battery in a greeting card. Unbelievable. And it was just, so those little batteries, the lithium batteries, are absolutely devastating. So when you're getting rid of those, last year we had people lined up the entire time, all the way out on the Reeser, or London Reeser. So now by checking IDs, it'll probably be better for you Fairfield citizens to get in. That's a great day. And then finally, the water report that Councilmember Brill also mentioned, to expect maybe a water increase. We're talking a water increase on an average home of $1.82 in a month, $1.82 a month. That's pretty daggone good for what we get in our water department here. I'm right there, right? That's what I thought. So we really appreciate the water department for keeping costs and providing phenomenal service. So. All right. Public hearing, there is none. Citizen comments. At this time, nope. Okay. Oh, okay. You go. Okay. We're going to do that's right. Okay, never mind. Okay. At this time, let me see, we have approval of minutes from the previous meeting. We don't hear any objections. We'll let them stand as presented. I'm sorry, I misread that. Had so many notes on my paper, I was getting confused. Back to old business. This first one is Development Services, Councilmember Adam Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to note, Council has received the recommendation of the Planning Commission to deny this current ordinance that is part of the second reading for tonight's old business. An ordinance amending ordinance number 166-84, the codified ordinance of Fairfield, Ohio, section 1130.01, B2, the city of Fairfield, Ohio zoning map by approving the concept development plan for the Pleasant Avenue and John Gray Road Plan Unit Development. Legislation, this will stand as the second reading for this ordinance amendment.
All right, for those in the audience to understand what we're going to do, Council has received the minutes from the Planning Commission meeting. They know everything that went on. They've read through them, I'm sure, or they watched it, or et cetera. This is a second reading by law. We're going to do next meeting. There'll be a third reading and final vote. There was to overturn a Planning Commission vote. The Council needs what we call a supermajority, so it'd be 5 out of 7 instead of the simple majority. Correct?
That is correct.
As long as we didn't change that since last time I was here.
5 out of 7.
5 out of 7. So at this time, although I was going to mention there was some discussions around and some confusion around the Augusta Boulevard intersection. And when we talk about warrants and what the state allows and what they don't allow. So I was going to ask Mr. Mann, who's he was not here the last time, he's our Works Director, and I was going to ask you to explain how the state analyzes that and the situation.
So, a little bit off the cuff here, I guess, we follow the Ohio Manual for Uniform Traffic Control Devices. In it, there are warrants laid out for when a traffic signal can be legally installed. You have to meet one of those warrants to be able to legally install a warrant. Doesn't necessarily mean one would be recommended for sure just because it meant a warrant. Offhand, some of those warrants are currently, I think there's 9 now. Some of those warrants are traffic accidents. If there are 5 accidents within 12 months that would be preventable by a traffic signal, that would be a warrant. The intersection doesn't meet any of the warrants that I'm going to list. One that's commonly met that this one doesn't meet is the peak hour warrant. where there's a hour in a day where there's enough traffic for a peak hour, where you could install a traffic signal. Typically, if something meets the peak hour warrant only, we don't install a traffic signal. Most people don't. If they do, you would limit the operation of that signal to just that peak hour. So if there's 2 or 3 hours that it meets a warrant in the afternoon, you could run it a stop and go signal, and the rest of the day it'd be on flash. We don't run any of our signals that way in the city of Fairfield. There's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't, because it's a little confusing when a signal is sometimes operational and sometimes not. This one doesn't meet the peak hour warrant anyway, but if it did, that's one where we would recommend that we still don't install it. There's also a 4-hour warrant and an 8-hour warrant. It would not meet the volume thresholds for that. And then there are some other warrants for being in school zones and near railroad tracks that obviously it doesn't meet. So that's a little bit about the warrants. We've done studies over the years on Pleasant and Augusta, Pleasant and Happy Valley, and they've never quite met the thresholds for any of the warrants. So with the projected development here, it was asked of the developer and the developer's traffic engineer to analyze whether any of those warrants would be met in the future condition, and they were not. So I don't know if that answers.
It's perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping. So,
Ben, can you clarify, how do you get your data?
So
is it real-time data? Is it from crash reports?
So
how do you get data?
The crashes are based on actual accident reports generated by our police officers and, well, any police officer, if there happen to be one by a sheriff or highway patrol. So they're actual accident reports. And as far as the traffic volumes, standard traffic volume data collecting.
What is that? Can you explain?
So most people now, it's cameras. You'll install cameras for time to collect volumes, and there are all kinds of ways to take of numerology for. If you take it on a Wednesday, there's a factor that you multiply it by. If you take it in June, there's a factor you multiply it by. So it's not a matter of going out there in summer and, it was a low volume. You'll take those that traffic data for whatever month it was in and apply the appropriate factor so that it's not being misrepresented, either high or low.
Thanks, Ben. I guess I'm asking, do we have real-time data collection down there through cameras at the intersection? Do we have anything like that that's actually capturing real-time what's going on?
We do not. We do not. Our traffic, so obviously we couldn't do it where there's not traffic signals. But where we have traffic signals, there's a myriad of different ways we do detection. A lot of them radar, most of them video. You can count. They do have the ability to count. They'll give you a number. They're not completely accurate. What we'll do just for a quick number is we'll put up our radar signs, which you alluded to here earlier, and they will also give you a number. But if you really want a pretty accurate camera count, there are companies that do that, and traffic engineers, the developer's traffic engineer and traffic consultants will employ. MyoVision is the most common that comes to mind, but there are companies that do that provide that equipment. We don't have it ourselves. We used to do tube counters. We really don't do that so much anymore. Mostly we rely on outside companies that do counts for ODOT and Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Regional Council of Governments, or consultants whenever we're doing a specific project.
One other question, Ben. Do we know whether the developer actually did that count, where they installed cameras and did that?
I don't know that offhand. I just don't remember.
It'd be very good information to have, whether that data is based on averages, seasonal, whatever that might be, versus real-time data, because that particular area has changed significantly through the years.
It has. So I mentioned ODOT and Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Regional Council of Governments. They do counts pretty regularly on U.S. and state routes. So that information is readily available on their websites whenever they do counts. So if I'm looking for a count, that's where I go first. I'd have to look to see how recent their counts are, but I will tell you they would be within a few years.
But the best of your knowledge, there was no real-time data for this particular area that was taken. for this particular traffic study?
I don't know. I really couldn't say one way or the other because I don't remember that.
Thanks, Ben.
All right. Yeah, I think you ought
just want to point
to.
out the developer has prepared a couple slides and would like to present to you as you consider your decision in 2 weeks. I imagine probably some folks in the audience that may want to present some comments too. So if
All
you'd
right.
like now, the developer has prepared a couple slides.
All right, sir, welcome to come on up here. And you might address the traffic study that.
Good evening, Council. My name is Matt Gaston, Shaky Development Group, 600 West Loveland Avenue. And then just to answer that question, the TEC, who's the traffic.
Yeah, we've got to get real loud. Turn that
All
up.
right. The traffic engineer did get counts in March of this year at all the intersections requested, Augusta, Pleasant.
So they did do
Yes,
actual data
yes.
collection in
Yes.
March? Okay, and that's part of the report, I would
Yes.
assume?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, just
Thank you.
Answering that right at the beginning. I just wanted to kind of do a quick overview of how we strive to follow the Fairfield Forward Plan with this proposal. We worked with staff, we looked at the comprehensive plan, and we put together what made the most sense for that site. Just at high level, by the end of 2025, there will be no new housing active developments in Fairfield. The units in this project will be roughly $300,000, little less, some will be a little less, some will be a little bit more. This is the price point that, this is the lowest new home construction you can really hit in this environment, unfortunately. So it's, a good age in place. Half of these units will be single-story living, so somebody can move down and age in place, and then it's still attainable to some first-time home buyers.
Can you speak in the microphone a little bit more?
Yeah,
Turn the volume up or something?
yeah, we'll raise the.
There we go. Okay. Additionally, all the units are going to be under an HO restriction on renting. This is a owner-occupied development. I know it's condos, and you can't control everything, but a lot of older condos associations did not have these restrictions in place when they first got developed. These will be in place at the very beginning, so people purchasing the homes are going to be occupants. And then just another item, due to the topography, the easements, and the floodplain on the site, while there's 24 acres, there's really only 8 or 9 acres that's developable. So we looked at trying to do patio homes, and it's not feasible with how much space you have to make patio homes work. You're looking at 45 units across the whole site, which, based on the infrastructure improvements and the cost of the land and what the price of a lot would have to be to sell to a home builder, you're well over $100,000 for a lot, and that just doesn't make sense for a patio home in today's market. I just wanted to also highlight we're meeting goal number 2 in the home housing and neighborhoods of Fairfield Forward and policy 2.5. Then to touch on what Mr. Mann was talking about regarding access, if you look at Fairfield Forward plan, the thoroughfare plan, which is part of the document, highlights Pleasant Avenue in detail about how it is very well traveled, and access management should be limited. Access should be limited as to the greatest extent possible. That is, and from the very beginning, that was one of the first questions was, can we access Pleasant at Augusta? And the answer is no. I mean, you're too close to another light. It will never warrant a light at that intersection. So the only access allowed on the site that's full access is on John Gray, unfortunately.
You're correct, you had the full access.
Full access.
You do have a
Yes.
right in,
right
right out.
Right out, yes. And then one of the other questions that came up was, what if you directed all the traffic to the Augusta intersection? Would you then warrant a light? And talking to our traffic engineer, one of the biggest things, and maybe Mr. Mann can talk to this as well, but one of the biggest things is you look at the higher traffic volume leg before, on the intersection, and Augusta will always have a higher traffic volume than what this proposed development will have. So it will never then trip a warrant to one of the warrants to say that now a light, even if you sent all the traffic there, the Augusta side of the intersection will always have a higher traffic count. So directing all the traffic doesn't solve that issue from a warrant standpoint. Then the current intersection design does not meet today's traffic volume at John Gray and Pleasant Avenue. Everybody's here because of that. But our proposed improvements allow for the intersection to operate at a far more efficient and allowing private investment to make those improvements instead of using city money is just far more affordable for the city to have a private developer to make those improvements than the city for the whole community. Just a quick overview. Right now, John Gray's left turn lane is 130 feet. We're proposing to more than double it to 275 feet. So what that does is, and one of the other things on this table is this is a projection to 2045 based on annual increases in traffic. This isn't today. So today, it would be even more, it would have a higher level of service than what we're showing. But as you can see in the AEM, it reduces it by approximately 13 seconds overall, which is the overall delay queuing time, which is a 30% reduction in delay. And then in PM, it's 7.4 seconds, approximately 15% reduction in PM peak conditions.
So what you're saying is that 300-foot staging area reduces, reduces the wait time overall.
Yes.
Compared to what it is now.
Compared to today.
Because the city will adjust the light accordingly and.
Well, there's just be a much longer turn lane, so people can stack and turn in one cycle. This kind of last section is just kind of going over the small area plan because the Fairfield Forward plan spends a lot of time on the John Gray Pleasant Avenue intersection. Just to highlight so that the site is future land use is mixed use. On page 10, one of the items that was brought up is that this parcel is not highlighted for residential development. The reason that's not highlighted is because it's highlighted for mixed use. And as you read, according to the plan, the city should continue to be a residential community with a mix of suburban single-family neighborhoods and higher density housing closer to mixed use and commercial centers. 3 areas have been identified as appropriate locations for walkable, higher density, mixed-use developments. Town Center, the John Gray Pleasant area, and the South Gilmore Mac area. So it's not shown as a residential area because it's showing it as a higher density location, not a single-family residential location. Page 14, it talks about incorporating housing into the mixed-use development plans for the John Gray area, allow it to be a more walkable neighborhood. Just focusing in on the John Gray Pleasant Avenue small area plan, the vision of the John Gray Road Pleasant area is a main gateway into the Fairfield, providing access to many of the city's residential neighborhoods, parks, the city town center that will be a well-designed, small-scale, mixed-use area supported by low-intensity retail and services that support the surrounding neighborhood and a low to medium-density residential uses. As you can see, the proposed plan is for a mixed-use development on the proposed site. It shows the residential buffer that we're proposing. And, I think the intent of our whole plan was to meet what the stated goal for the small area plan was, according to the Fairfield Forward plan. And then we meet goal 2 of the small area plan, policy 3.5 of the small area plan, goal 4, goal 5. Our proposed development works to address all the items highlighted by the John Gray Pleasant Small Area Plan. This plan addresses the most critical items in the plan and meets the city's stated goal for the area while significantly improving the traffic congestion issues at John Gray and Pleasant Avenue. Basically say that again there. So if there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Hey, Matt, thanks for the presentation. Don't want to belabor the traffic comments any more than what you have right now, but I think one of the major concerns that I need to bring up and just kind of open to hear your suggestions or thoughts on is the neighborhood that's directly on the west side of the development, Carousel Circle. And the major concern that from what I've heard from the people in that neighborhood is that when leaving the new proposed development, if they could not turn left because of traffic volumes, that they would then turn right to proceed west on John Gray Road, and then going a short distance and then turning around at Carousel Circle, using that as an area to turn around, potentially speed, go around that circle, and then creating a dangerous situation inside that neighborhood. Any thoughts that you'd like to present, talk about, discuss in regards to that concern?
I mean, I think our traffic study shows that is what happens because of the queuing at the existing intersection goes well over 400 feet back based on today's conditions. So if you, under the same analysis, you look at the proposed conditions, it significantly reduces that queuing, which should significantly increase throughput through the intersection.
Do you know when you said significantly reduces the queuing, you're talking about the backing up of the traffic in that center turn lane to go north on Pleasant?
Well, it backs up past the turn lane today. It backs up 400 feet back to Carousel Circle right now.
So because of, and I just want to make sure that I have this straight, because of the reduction in the queuing, there's going to be a more efficient exit onto northbound Pleasant from John Gray eastbound to where that queuing will remain shorter, even though that turn lane is longer. Is that what you're stating? Is that what you're proposing?
Yes, that is what the traffic study shows. Additionally, there are also 2 other exits. So the only people that will be coming out and taking a left, trying to go, north, while everybody else can go out to Pleasant and take a right if they're heading south, or they're just trying to get to John Gray and take a left over. They can go out to our right, right in, right out.
Do you know, will there be any sign? I'm sorry? Do you know, in reference to that specific comment, is there going to be availability for signage at all in that development to where it says exit only for northbound traffic on Pleasant Avenue to help direct people to the other exits in that development, to direct them southbound on Pleasant versus going out? I mean, I can see that this being a larger exit, especially directly behind the proposed commercial buildings, that there would be a tendency to use that exit and entrance more than the other, hypothetically speaking, because I've never been to this specific development because it doesn't exist. But just thinking out loud.
Yep. I think that makes sense.
But doesn't the queuing time, isn't it dictated by the lights on John Gray and Pleasant? On light timing and so forth, or not?
I think one of the biggest issues, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Ben. One of the biggest issues is because the turn lane is so short, there's a backup of traffic going eastbound to where you can't get over to queue and traffic cannot expediently leave the intersection in a right, straight, or left. So you're backed up, waiting to get in that turn lane. So, I mean,
by extending the turn lane is simply adding to the problem in my mind.
I don't know that I would say it's adding to the problem. I mean, the queue, to your point,
You're just adding more spaces for cars.
That there's more storage, so there would be cars in there. I guess the question would be, when are people exiting the development? Or is there any room for them to be able to cross that left turn that's presumably full of cars?
And the other thing is, I would assume you would extend that left turn sequence.
Certainly the left turn would be longer.
Right now, it lets 4 or 5 cars through. You might adjust it to 8 or 10.
Presumably.
And we control that.
We control that, but the length of the queue, I mean, if you're presuming that the turn lane is going to be full at times, in the peak times, which it will, then obviously people coming out during the peak hour or whenever that is, they're going to have some difficulty in turning left, and that's the concern.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. That was all.
All right, cool, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So at this time, there is a representative from the land, the owner of the land here, but he didn't have anything to say, but I was just gonna say if anybody did, but if anybody else would like to say something, keep it to your few minutes, and,
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, let me just chime in on that. You do, and we've received the correspondence or a letter in support of the zoning amendment application from the Richards Bohr, attorney for the property owners. That is been provided to each of you. It's being received in connection with this proceeding and will be attached and included as part of the minutes. He did not want to speak. I think that the developer was handling most of the communication. So he's here, but he really just, his comments are incorporated in that letter. That'll be available to everyone.
okay, perfect. I saw it sitting here, so I thought, but if anybody else would like to speak on it, we also obviously have been here a few times already, but these have not been here, so this is the council. You spoke a few times before for planning commission members. Several of us were there. I know Mr. Paulus and I, and maybe a few others were there in the audience. So state your name, your address, and you got to put a clock on you, I know.
The name is Gary Webb. I live at 54 Carousel Circle, Fairfield, Ohio. And I didn't expect to talk tonight, but since the developer had a chance to talk, all I want to say is, Adam, please take my presentation from the planning committee and make sure all these people have that, if you would, please, if you still got it. If not, I can get it to you. And I ask everybody on city council, if they would, please, go listen to the planning committee from, what was it, a week, 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was. Please bring that up. I think it is videoed. I don't know about 300 to 400 feet. I've got a picture that says 525 feet of backup on John Gray. So thank you. Please look through those things.
All right, anybody else?
Dave Groen at number 6 Carousel Circle. Were the warrants checked with all of the traffic diverted from John Gray up through the Augusta exit entrance, the full entrance? Was that run by the state of Ohio?
Not by the state of Ohio. It was done by the traffic consultant and then reviewed by the city. As far as whether there, are you asking if there was a check of warrants, if there was only one point of ingress and egress?
Right.
The developer alluded to his consultant looking at that and saying that no matter, even if all the traffic was directed there,
They didn't think that that would be warranted.
yes, right.
But it wasn't run by the state.
It wouldn't it be run by the state? There's not any circumstance in which it would be run by the state.
By the developer.
The developer
Actually,
reviewed.
the developer's traffic engineer.
Gotcha.
And then the city reviewed that.
Now, the other thing I want to bring up is the extension of that turn lane is going to totally screw up the egress for Walgreens across the street. It's already extremely difficult to get out at Walgreens at the heavy traffic time and to turn left or westbound on John Gray. And that's going to exacerbate the situation. About 5 o'clock, also from Carousel, it's tough to get out eastbound on John Gray with all the traffic going each way. So that's going to exacerbate that problem too. So, thank you.
All right, anybody else?
My name's Josh Large. I live at 29 Carousel Circle. I moved here 9 years ago. Love it. Great city. My biggest concern is traffic, safety. Who's going to be responsible if something happened to one of our little kids? There's probably 20 different little kids all in the neighborhood, riding bikes, scooters, walking. I almost got hit the other day. Someone ran the the stop sign, went all around the circle, 12 seconds. Doing the speed limit, it takes about 20 seconds. Just doing 25. We all sat here, multiple meetings. Developers don't want to change nothing. Me personally, I could be out of line. Why would we want to work with somebody that won't work with us? 2-3 weeks before the main public hearing, They sent out letters saying they want to hear our concerns and regards of what's going on. They don't even want to work with us. I could be out of line. I disagree with this.
Hey everyone, Patrick Gaynard, 30 Carousel Circle. I'll be brief. I actually read the Fairfield First Plan, the JLPG29, and very interesting reading. You know, got to be not like a 2 in the afternoon, not 2 in the morning reading that. But the developer was kind of putting the things up there, and this fits this, this fits this. But there are a litany of things that this proposal does not fit into the Fairfield First Plan, from distance of roads to intersections to any new development that is like a gateway to a specific neighborhood should fit that specific neighborhood's, for lack of a better term, architectural kind of where it is. If it's homes, it should be homes in the same kind of building materials as those homes. And this is certainly far from the neighborhood that Carousel Circle and I think Robert E. League and the other homes are on right off of John Gray. And so obviously I'm definitely, opposed to it. And just lastly, is that ever since we had the Planning Commission meeting and the Planning Commission voted for, I think it was 4-2 against it, I drive past the proposed in and out of the development, and I'm like, every time I drive past, which is multiple times a day, I take the kids to school, pick them up, I'm like, wow, I can't believe they want to put a road right here. This has got to be the worst spot to put a new road so close to the intersection with the amount of traffic that goes through here on a daily basis. So please take that into consideration.
Hi, Teresa Mangold, 11 Carousel Circle. We've been there since 1989. And first of all, we know eventually that this corner will be changed in some way. We're hoping it will be something to enhance our neighborhood, not cause us undue burdens, loss in property value, or add to any safety concerns. At the last meeting, it was suggested that Fairfield buy the property, which brought up financial concerns. And I recently read that the owners were open to subdividing it, which could open the door to bordering neighbors buying the property directly behind their homes. This could lessen the cost for Fairfield to purchase some of the property to create a nice green space or a park, which would be a nice welcome to Fairfield, gateway right at the corner. The problem of trying to sell all 24 acres together has proven to be a stumbling block that this approach might help with. At the heart of this is the plan to put a greater strain on traffic on a 2-lane, heavily traveled, accident-prone, hilly road with limited visibility, and dumping even more traffic from a drive right at an already congested intersection at a distance less than the 600-foot setback that was mentioned. This safety issue is greater than adding length to a turn lane. The whole intersection needs improvement before adding additional traffic, which should involve Hamilton County, and that they say they have not been contacted. Thank you.
Rex Hambrick, 5261 Chateau Way. My parents own a home on Carousel. I was born there, raised there, looking to move there. However, living on Chateau, the traffic, the speeders, the people that fly down that street. I have a 13-year-old and a 4-year-old. I buy that house, come driving. Now I have to worry about my daughter getting out to go to school, coming home, people speeding around the street. Now, you're worried about bringing people in. Well, how about worry about keeping people here? I want to buy their house, but if this goes in, I may move somewhere else because I don't want to put my kids in danger due to all this extra congestion that this project's going to bring. So instead of trying to bring new people in, why don't you try and keep people that are here? Thank you.
All right, anybody else? So the council members will take everything under consideration. They're going to go back hopefully through the Planning Commission meeting notes and videos and everything so that they're up to speed totally. And the next meeting is in 2 weeks, same room, 7 o'clock, and that's when the final vote will be taken. So anything else? We'll move on to other business then. You guys want to exit real quick, you're welcome, or you can stay and listen to the rest of the meeting.
Actually, Mayor, if I could do one more request. Chief Maynard, not to call you out from the outside hallway there, Did we get a report from your department talking about any reported violations, speeding, any kind of issues that's been documented on Carousel Circle over the last extended period of time that we could just have for reference? Thank you, sir.
And on that note, I'd like to make a motion to read all new business by title.
I know, I'm second to close doors. They're out there, close them up. All right. We have a motion to, and did we get a second on that? We did, okay. Read title only, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Community and Public Relations, Mr. Timmer.
We have a simple motion tonight for Community and Public Relations. The simple motion is related to appointments to boards and commissions. Thank you.
All righty. Councilmember Brill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a simple motion to approve the following 2025 boards and commission appointments effective September 8th, 2025. Peggy Emerson to the Environmental Commission. She will be the Chamber of Commerce representative. Her term will expire 3/31/2028.
All right, motion is simple motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Public Safety, Mr. Timmer.
We have one ordinance and two simple motions tonight for public safety. The ordinance is to authorize the city manager to execute a Leary Foundation grant application and agreement. This project is estimated at approximately $20,000 for the purchase of exercise equipment for the physical ability testing and regular cardio exercise. If approved, the Leary Foundation would be funding 100% of this grant. The simple motions are related to liquor permit applications. Thank you.
All righty. It looks like my agenda that I was working on was printed yesterday, not today. I'm sorry about that. We're going to move in reverse here a little bit. Development Services. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to go ahead and let's go ahead and vote on that one then, when you just read.
We don't have anything on you right now, but I did want to point out, and this was information, there's an additional ordinance, and that relates to the vacation plat for Service Drive. You actually considered this several weeks ago. There were some changes that were necessitated due to some errors on the plat prepared by the surveyor. So this is kind of a duplication of a previous action by you, but that's been added.
This is under public safety? What you're talking
No,
about?
it's under,
It's under
Development
Development Services.
Oh.
It's on item 2A. It's on the printed
What is the
agenda
deal
that was
here? We
provided
got
to
two
you
different,
today.
we got two different ones here.
Yeah,
it was
well,
updated.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
updated today, so if you're looking at one that you received before today, it won't have this, but
well,
Mr.
since
Kraft does have it.
Mr. Timmer read Public Safety,
That's the update Mr. Wolterman just gave is what I would have read for Development Services, so you're welcome to do it in the order of the agenda.
rather do it that way?
Yep.
Okay. All right, Mr. Timmer.
Yeah, you can go ahead and turn
everything
it
you
over to
said.
Mr.
Oh,
Kraft.
okay, okay, I got you. In that case, Mr. Kraft.
Thank you, everyone. Ordinance to repeal ordinance number 87-25 and vacating part of Service Drive and a public storm sewer easement as known on the attached vacant plat and replat of lots 9696 and 9952 and dedication plat for the portion of a Stockton Station Drive and authorizing the city manager to execute the plats and such additional documents as may be necessary to complete the development of said property and declaring an emergency. Make a motion to suspend the second and third readings, please.
Motion and second for rule suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion for adoption.
Motion and second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
City Manager, I apologize. I should have communicated that information to you. I did not do that, so that's on me.
All righty. For public safety, Mr. Timmer.
You already read it.
Oh, you already did that one?
Did that.
So, yeah, I'm
It's my turn.
So now. All right,
Okay, I
Mr.
have an ordinance to authorize the city manager to execute the Leary Foundation grant application and agreement for physical ability training step mills and declaring an emergency. Making a motion to suspend the second and third reading.
Second.
second for emergency legislation. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion for adoption.
Second.
Motion is second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I have a simple motion to not request a hearing regarding a liquor permit application in the name of VL Foreman LLC, 5120 Pleasant Avenue, Suite B. Permit class D5 and D6.
Second.
Motion is second, and I'm getting back over here on this new gentleman. All right. That's a simple motion.
Yes,
All in
it's
favor? Opposed?
I have another simple motion to not request a hearing regarding a liquor permit application in the name of Everest Kitchen LLC, 5250 Dixie Highway, Unit A, permit class D5.
Second.
Motion is second for simple motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, we're back and rolling now. Okay. And Councilmember Brill is going to step in for Mr. Davidson. We're first going to, I know, Mr. Timmer.
We have one ordinance and one resolution tonight for public utilities. The ordinance is to amend sections of the codified ordinance of the city. During this summer, city staff worked with financial consultants to develop a comprehensive financial plan and prepare recommended utility rates for years 2026 through 2030. Tonight is the first reading. The resolution is authorizing the city to become a Power a Clean Future Ohio community. Power a Clean Future Ohio is an Ohio nonprofit organization helping communities take practical steps towards creating healthier, more sustainable communities. Fairfield's membership aligns with the city's Fairfield Sustains plan. Thank you.
All righty. Councilmember Brill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have an ordinance to amend subsection 921.04, section A, license, bonding requirements, subsection 921.05, section F, inspection of meters, subsection 921.06, section A, special meters, subsection 921.07, section A, application of water service, B, subsection 921.08, water rates, subsection 921.12B, cross-connection control, water quality backflow protection, and subsection 925.08B, one sewer user rates of ordinance number 166-84, the codified ordinances of Fairfield, Ohio. And this is the first reading.
That's why Matt wasn't here. He didn't want to read that.
Exactly.
All right.
The second ordinance is a resolution to authorize the city of Fairfield, Ohio to become a Power a Clean Future Ohio community. And I'd like to make a motion to suspend second and third readings.
Second.
Motion is second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion is second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council?
Yeah, Jillian, actually, I had a conversation, I had lunch with Jillian and Adam and a few others. And I asked her at this time if there was anything that she really wanted to drive, and she put this together and so forth. So congratulations on the speed here. So please pass that along.
All righty. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All right, Public Works, Mr. Timmer.
We have two ordinances tonight for Public Works. The first ordinance is to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Compass Minerals for the purchase of road salt. The Public Works Department, in order to obtain better pricing and service, participates in a bid submitted in conjunction with the Butler County Engineers Office. The county contract for 2025 includes Butler County Engineers Office, Butler County Water and Sewer, as well as participating cities, villages, and townships within Butler County. The second ordinance is to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with American Structure Point for a roadway improvement project at River, Grow, and Chateau. Thank you.
All righty. Councilmember Penny.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have two ordinances. The first is an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Compass Minerals America Incorporated for the purchase of road salt. I'd like to make the motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Motion and second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the second ordinance is to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with American Structure Point for the River, Grow, and Chateau Improvement Project. I want to make the motion to suspend the second and third readings.
Second.
Motion and second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now we got to spend some money. Let's see here. Finance and budget. Mr. Timmer.
We have 5 ordinances and 1 resolution tonight for finance and budget. The resolution is to accept amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and certifying said rates to the Butler County Auditor. The first ordinance is to provide for the issuance of bonds related to sidewalk improvements. The annual sidewalk program requires property owners to repair sidewalks and aprons that were marked for replacement. The outstanding balances were certified to the county auditor, and in accordance with state law, the city council must pass an ordinance to issue bonds for the outstanding assessments. The second ordinance is to repeal ordinance 103-25 related to reducing and recertifying special assessments levied for improvements at the former Cincinnati Mills Mall. The real estate closing of the site has commenced, which included prepaying all assessments. Therefore, the city no longer needs to file for or collect special assessments on the property. The final 3 ordinances are for appropriations. The first is an ordinance requesting supplemental appropriations. An additional appropriation is being sought to cover higher than anticipated refunds for the building division. Building permits are higher than anticipated, and this is causing the required amount that needs to be remitted to the Ohio Board of Building Standards to be more than anticipated. The contractual appropriations total $333,000 and include 2 projects in the Public Works Department. The non-contractual appropriations total $64,175 and include 4 projects in the Public Works and Parks and Recreation Departments and the Sustainability Division. Thank you.
All righty. Finance and budget, Councilmember Myers.
The resolution accepts the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. I'd like to make a motion to suspend second and third readings, please.
Second.
Motion and second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Number 2 is an ordinance providing for the issuance of $57,330.63 to bonds by the city of Fairfield, Ohio, to pay part of the cost of sidewalk repair in the city and declaring an emergency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings, please.
Motion and second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Comments from our audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
This is an ordinance to repeal ordinance number 103-25, special assessments, and declaring an emergency. Motion to suspend second and third readings, please.
Second.
Motion and second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Fourth is an ordinance to amend ordinance number 158-24 entitled an ordinance to make estimated appropriations for the expenses and other expenditures of the city of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2025, ending December 31st, 2025. At this time, I'd like to make motion to suspend second, third readings, please.
Motion and second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion and second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The next is an ordinance to amend ordinance number 158-24 entitled an ordinance to make estimated appropriations for the expenses and other expenditures of the city of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2025, ending December 31st, 2025. As Mr. Timmer said, this is for contractual appropriations totaling $330,000. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings, please.
Second.
Motion and second for rule suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion for adoption and second. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Final item is an ordinance to amend ordinance number 158-24 entitled an ordinance to make estimated appropriations for the expenses and other expenditures of the city of Fairfield, Ohio during a period beginning January 1st, 2025, ending December 31st, 2025. These are the non-contractual appropriations totaling $64,175. I'd like to make a motion to suspend second and third readings, please.
Motion and second for suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Motion to adopt.
Second.
Second for adoption. Comments from audience? Comments from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Madam Clerk, can you read the meeting schedule, please?
Monday, September 22nd, council manager briefing 6 p.m., regular meeting 7 p.m. Tuesday, October 14th, council manager briefing 6 p.m., regular meeting 7 p.m. Monday, October 27th, council manager briefing 5:30 p.m., regular meeting 7 p.m.
All righty, we will convene to executive session. Mr. Holtagel, welcome. Want to bring back some memories? You weren't shaking or anything, and deja vu here. That's what I said.
We are too.